What's going on, people? Welcome to Live Palace News. It feels good to be back here. Another day, well, first of all, it's the start of the rejections. We haven't been rejected before, but as you can see from the title, not only one, we've got a one rejection confirmed, but we got another one confirmed as well. Also, Glasner spoke about it in his pre-match press conference. Injury updates, transfers, who do we want? How many players do we want? He answered it and more. But as always, people, please, if you are even watching on replay or live, hit the like button. I'm going to be monitoring it throughout the stream. It's going to help us massively if everyone can just hit it. If you do enjoy the streams, it helps the algorithm. That's what made the channel grow so much last year. I want to grow it to another level this year so we do more and better content as well. So if you can do that, that would be much appreciated. There's also Malcolm Ebiowei news, as well as new contract news on players, which Glasner spoke about. So there's a lot to talk about right before the Chelsea game. Lou, how you doing, man? How you doing? Welcome to this side of content where you got these streams, daily streams, which we try to do as long as there's news. And today there's quite a bit to talk about. But with you in general, I know you're nervous when you're watching Palace play. We done the stream yesterday as well, talking about what we expected from the Palace way. Bruno joined us, so make sure to check that out if you haven't already done so. We spoke about Sports Bank and the January window in general. But when it comes to transfer news, are you excited more time? Are you nervous? Are you laid back? Like, how are you approaching these kinds of news? Because there's going to be so much that comes out this month.
Well, at the moment, I'm confident they're going to bring in two players. I've always said about the right wing back, but I'm just gonna say, it is what it is. I don't think we're going to get one in. So obviously, Diouf looks like he's going to be the one that's going to come in at left wing back. But the right 10 is the interesting one because I don't think Doak will come in, and it'll be interesting to see who we get in for that position. And it looks like we're trying to do it early. I always when I said last time, I thought we'll try and get them in before the 10th of January around that time. I think they're trying to get it in for the Leicester game because after the Chelsea game, there's FA Cup. So they've got a good 10, 12 days to get the players in.
Yeah. By the way, for the stream, let's try to aim for 100 likes. I know people watching replay as well. But let's forget about the likes, forget about the subscribers. Let's start off with that Diouf news, which a bid has been rejected according to reports. The first official bid from Crystal Palace, around £12.5 million for the Senegalese left wing back, has been rejected. Slavia Prague have refused the offer. However, there are reports now, I believe, from the Telegraph, and I just think in general, even if there's no reports, the first bid rarely gets accepted. I mean, it's always going to get rejected. I don't think this deal is off. It's good that, the third day of the new year, there is an official bid sent rather than waiting till halfway through the window or later on in the window. And I do think from the sense of it, with an official bid being sent already, that this is a deal that would surprise me if it's not done first, left wing back position. But with Diouf, we haven't really mentioned him as much, especially on streams. We spoke about it before, between us as well, and get involved in the chat, people. What do you think about the player profile option? He's played in Europa League this year. I know he's played against Fenerbahce as well. I think he's got like 6 goals and 3 assists so far this season. Of course, the competition that he plays in over in Prague, it's not the highest level. However, we've seen it with Munoz. Again, he's coming to the Premier League and has settled well. He's still a young player. Is this a type of profile that we need like right now, or would you want a player that's a bit more ready-made or more experienced?
Me personally, I like the Bester link, but I would say, like, with Mitchell being a starter already, someone like Diouf makes a bit more sense in terms of it's not like a straight replacement for Mitchell. As someone that's going to grow into it and probably might have a bigger resale value than the fact that he's only 19 years old. I think, what was the bid? 12.5 million.
Yeah.
Unlike the Doak one, it says, I don't think we're too far in valuation. So I think it will only take 3 or 4 million and maybe add-ons and stuff like that. I'm sure Diouf will be happy to come to London. Plus, he's a Senegalese international and he's SARS also here. So there's a good connection there. A left wing back that can go forward, a different player profile to Mitchell is what we need.
He seems like a player. Of course, him scoring goals is positive. We saw it with Munoz as well. Before he joined us, he had like goals and assists, which is a positive step. It's a more attacking option, and that's what I care about. Like for me, the player profile there is important. It has to be more attacking. Mitchell, not much can say wrong about his defensive performances so far this season. For the large parts, it's been good. But what we're missing is someone who can offer something different going forward. And he's only 20 years old as well, so there's a lot of room for potential and growth. He has got European experience. In a way, kind of Munoz came to us more experienced, yes, but it kind of reminds me of like a Munoz type of signing with where he's playing, with European experience, with goals and assists. And Munoz has come good for us. Like we saw it last season with Elise. We saw the best out of Munoz and Elise because both of them were attacking and were causing trouble going down that side. So I'm looking at a wing-back option that can attack, that can offer space for Eze, because that's crucial. I think Eze's performances also have been hurt by the lack of proper threat down the left-hand side. It might sound a bit harsh to Mitchell, but at times I feel like it's easier to defend against. So this is a more attacking option. I don't think it'll cost that much. I've seen reports from Colin. I haven't seen it personally from the actual reports, but Colin is saying that he's heard around 16, 17 million pound. I don't expect it to reach anywhere near the 20 million pound region, because I mean, with all due respect, the league is playing in and the team is playing at. So yeah, I mean, around 15 million pounds, a new wing back option. As long as we believe as a football club that he's ready to step in, that's all that matters. But the first bid has been rejected. We'll see where we go from here. Colin saying if we can get our defense scoring as they are, that's 40% of our goals for season, and getting our attacking players scoring also will do us good. Yeah, I'll be honest with the 40%. I know towards the end of the show, by the way, people, we'll go back to how we normally done it. If you have any questions, put a Q and a dot before it, and we will answer them. Just anything related to Palace. It is a bit of a concern, though. I know defender scoring goals is nice, but even before the stat came out, I think Glasner mentioned it in his press conference, which we'll talk about. 40% is a high number of relying on goals from defenders. Like, it's good that Chalobah, Lecroix, Gaze, and Munoz have scored goals, but you can tell like we still need a bit more. Maybe Diouf can offer to that, but that's why we're going to talk about the number 10 position, because there was another rejected bid. But what do you think about this stat, by the way? Before
yeah, but I do feel like in Glasner's formation, the wing backs aren't defenders; they're more like wingers. So a contribution from Munoz and the left wing back is it's not like we're asking a normal fullback to push on and score. Like these players, you even saw last week against Southampton, Mitchell's crossing to Munoz for a tap in, same way in the second half. So yeah, you got to chip in all round with goals if your strikers aren't doing it. I think the one thing with Diouf is Glasner has such a specific style of play. Can he adjust to Glasner's style of play straight away? Obviously, he's playing in Prague. Premier League is very physical, technical, and tactical, all in one. So can he adjust to that? He looks quite raw. He's not. He looks technically good, but at 19, there's still lots to improve on. So it might be a lot to ask for him to come in and hit the ground running. But it's good that Mitchell needs a backup. He needs rest. So I'm happy with it.
And I think it will elevate Mitchell's game as well. Like if he has someone there to, learn, especially the attacking style of play. It's funny because the player is younger, but it doesn't matter. In terms of age, you still, he can teach Mitchell a few things and Mitchell can teach him a few things. So yeah, it'll be a good competition.
You know what? Yeah, I bet you Diouf comes in and all of a sudden Mitchell turns into Van Arnold.
Well, it could happen though. It could happen, but that's not a bad thing. That's sometimes that's what you need though. That's what you need. You need a player to come in there for you to unlock another level of your game. He's settled. Mitchell is starting tomorrow. We know that. Mitchell is most likely starting against maybe Stockport. Hopefully he doesn't, but it wouldn't shock me. But maybe against Stockport, we could take even further risks. But Leicester, all these other games, Mitchell's starting. And that's the thing. He knows he's starting. In the back of your mind, you know you're starting. And when you have that competition, you'll be like, hold up, wait a minute. I need to lock in. I'm not saying he isn't locked in, but it's a natural instinct. Like if you don't have competition, you're just going to be more relaxed until someone arrives there. So hopefully that's the case, because that's what we want.
Yeah, it'd be good to get Diouf in and start him against Stockport. That would be good, but maybe that's asking too much. Well, let's see.
The first bid has been rejected anyway, so we'll see how serious Palace are.
I also think Mitchell could do a job at left centre back. If I was to say Mitchell's a traditional left back, but if I was to say is Mitchell better at a left centre back in a free or a left wing back, I'd probably lean towards Mitchell being a left centre back than a left wing back.
I'm not too sure, I don't know if I agree
You
with
think
you. Because of his height. I'm not too sure. Because I think even when balls come to the far post, he's not. Well, Gay's not that tall as well, but
there you go.
Maybe something that's in the back of my mind. But I've seen teams target that ball going into the far post, and Mitchell at times getting caught out. Yeah. So even
I'm saying, do you think he could be taught to be even a chat? What do you think? Do you think he could? It would be easier to turn Mitchell into a progressive left centre back, or would it be easier to turn him into a flying left wing back?
I think it'd be easier to turn him centre back, but I think both options ain't really good enough. I think realistically, there's a ceiling, and that ceiling is left back, which is a problem because we don't play that system. Yeah. I think that's his system. That's his ceiling. By the way, there are questions coming through. Put a Q and a dot before it. I have pinned it, and we will answer it. Let's move on to the next bit of rumour, people. And that is on another rejected bid. This one was a shock. We spoke about it yesterday. Another number 10. Who could it be? There's been names mentioned, but pretty much unrealistic names. However, according to Alan Nixon today, Crystal Palace have made a £50 million bid for Liverpool's flying Scottish winger Ben Doak. Do you say Doak? Doak. In case I pronounce it wrong for anyone that's Scottish, no offense. But the COP have rejected the bid. But who is Palace's priority signing for this window, which has come out of nowhere. However, we've got also reports from the Daily Mail suggesting that Crystal Palace's £50 million bid is way short of what Liverpool are expecting, which is in the region of 25 to 30 million pounds. 25 to 30 million pounds. First of all, that to me is not realistic in terms of what Palace would be willing to pay for. We know it. We like to bring in championship players around 20 million pounds at max and then develop them. 25 to 30. We paid 30 for Nketiah, but he's not a championship player. He came from Arsenal. I just don't see this happening unless there's a compromise from Liverpool, which I don't know if they will do, because why do they need to do it at this point? He's flying high at Middlesbrough. He's been playing well, and they see him as, one of the best prospects in the championship. But do you see anything coming from this? It was a surprise to me, I'll be honest.
I think at 15 million, it will be a good signing, but anything above, I'm not too sure. The player profile kind of fits. If he's both-footed, because if we go back to speaking about Glasner at Eintracht Frankfurt, he didn't play with a left-footed right 10. He played majority of the time, it was a right-footed 10. So I think for our balance, we could do with a left footer. Me personally, like even tomorrow, we're going into the game with one starting left-footed player in the whole 11. Ben Doak. I'm not a fan of buying from the top six. They're younger players or fringe players. One, they want so much money for them. Two, they love buyback clauses. They want sell-on fees. And basically, I feel like us buying Ben Doak would just be like it's funding the Salah, VVD, and Trent contracts. Like they're gonna get money from Ebiowei. He's on a long contract. His stocks are up right now. He had some good performances for Scotland. He's doing well in the Championship. It's the January transfer market. It just doesn't seem a good deal. For me, we have to go into the European market outside of the Premier League. Premier League players English players are inflated, or British players. That's why I think Diouf works well. I wouldn't.
Well, we do like the championship signings as well. So, you do say we have to go to Europe, but Dougie does and he's very good with it. He's very good when it comes down to the championship and spotting the talent. And you've mentioned he's right-footed. However, I have seen reports. I haven't watched him inside out, but I've seen reports that he's comfortable playing with both feet. But yeah,
is he not Cherky level though.
yeah, of course, yeah. Cherky's special talent, and that's why Cherky's not coming to Palace, because he's linked to other clubs like Dortmund's and the PSG's and even the Liverpool's. So that's why I said that it's not really realistic that some of the number 10s that's been mentioned so far. Look, it's been rejected according to reports. The £50 million, they want around 25 to 30. And there was a good comment here. There's a lot of comments coming through from Frey saying, I think Liverpool will accept around 20 million pounds. They always say Maybe they're playing games, but then again, are Palace willing to pay 20 million pounds I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I don't really know with the number 10 position who to pick from, because there hasn't been any realistic names so far. Like Cherky's not coming. James McTee's not coming. He's at City. He's going to be staying there. So it's like this is the only real option, unless we've got other players on our list, which hopefully we do, and maybe we can get a few more surprises as the days are going by. Because this was a surprise to me. I never expected this. It's the first time it's been mentioned. So maybe that is the case. I would love a Ryan Cherky, but I don't think that will happen. We need a left-footed player. For me, I don't really care if they're left-footed in particular. I more care about, can they play with both feet? If they are right-footed, are they comfortable on their left foot? That's what matters to me the most. But most
I think they need to be complete.
I
think they need to be more than comfortable on their left foot. I think they need to be like near on.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's too one-dimensional. For example, with all due respect, we can't bring in like an Andros Townsend, who you know what he's going to do. He's going to cut into this left foot from the right-hand side, and it's going to be the same thing. Like, you need a player who can do, hold up, I can go down the line because I can use my right foot as well as my left foot. So it's hard, though. It's not easy profile to find.
Is everyone telling me, like in the chat and out there, that they don't think that there's a left-footed number 10 in Europe for 20 million that could do a great job for us? Is that what everyone's saying? Because I'm seeing people in the chat saying Doak's the best option. Do you know how many players there are in Europe? Like, it's a joke how many players there are.
Yeah, but then the circumstances matter as well. There might be the players, but the club might not be willing to sell the player, or the valuation might be higher. So it's not like.
But it looks like Doak is in that, is a part of that. McAtee is a part of that. Shirky's part of that. All these players.
Doak. So when you look at it, yes, in Europe, there are players, of course, 100% number 10s left-footed. But with Doak, it's from an area that we know how to scout from. Like, he's been successful from the Championship, for example. However, if we go with wing-backs, we've done something different in terms of going to Europe and signing players that are not playing at, the top divisions. But with number 10s, it seems like with attacking options, it seems like for the large parts, we want to stay at a certain market, like even like the Bundesliga with Mateta, or Premier League with Nketiah, or Championship with Eze. We've kind of had our market. It's like a area that we want to feel comfortable with. I don't know. We haven't really gone for.
I'm not saying Doak isn't a good player profile, but Ben Doak for 25-30 million. Can you do better in the transfer market? I don't know.
Well, maybe we will be testing waters. Let's see. I mean, it's only the third day of the window, and we've had 2 bids rejected. That's the positive that I'm taking out of this. Of course, you want the bids to be accepted, but the fact that we're putting in bids and we're starting somewhere shows a bit more like, all right, cool. We're not going to go the usual approach of just sitting back. To be fair, it's a good start. I'm happy with that in terms of, we've actually put in bids. However, now I'm looking at when do we put the next bid, especially with Diouf, because he's an option that we've heard about for a few weeks now. We put in the first bid, it's been rejected. He's kind of up there, seems like. Even yesterday, talking to Bruno from the Palace Way as the 2 options between him and Beste. So what do we do now? How long do we wait to put in a second bid? And how do we increase it by 250K, or do we increase it by a few millions? Do we match what they want? Let's see how serious we are. But I personally think the left wing back position will be sorted before the number 10 position, based on everything that's been going on recently.
Well, I asked the chat as well. Who would people prefer? Someone like Doak or someone like Marcus Edwards from Sport Lisbon? I feel like Marcus Edwards would be a better player profile. I don't know. He hasn't really been playing much this season, but Sporting have been a bit up and down because of Amarin left. But I think he could go for 10 to 15 million.
Yeah, he can. By the way, people, before we move on to further rumors, we are currently on 46 likes. There's about 120 of you watching it live. So please, if you haven't done so, hit the like button. Let's see if we can reach 75 likes. That's the next target as we close in on 100. But thank to all and every single one of you that's already done that and has been tuning in to this live shows and watching on replay. Let's move on to the next bit of not rumor. It's actually been confirmed. Malcolm Ebiowei has been confirmed to return back to Palace from Oxford United. The club have announced that. I don't want to stay too much on this. I want to move on to Glasner's pre-match press conference because he did mention a few things there. But Ebiowei doesn't really have a future. I don't know what's the next steps for him because he didn't do it once again at Oxford United. It's cut short and he's back at Palace. What next for him?
Probably another loan.
To where? it's not working. The loan moves
Well,
haven't been working.
yeah, well,
At what point do we say enough is enough? We're cutting our losses, even though there's.
I don't think he's a priority in the club at all. I think he'd probably been told by the club probably told him and his agent, yeah, find a new club. Yeah, I don't think Malcolm Ebiowei is the bottom of Palace's.
Yeah, we can't really focus on him.
Yeah,
right now. Yeah.
I don't really have any feeling towards Malcolm Ebiowei.
Yeah. Let's see what happens, but yeah, I don't expect him to feature for Palace. If he's not featuring at Oxford United, this was an opportunity for him to prove himself. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if he was harshly treated. I don't know if he done something which gave him a lack of opportunities. However, I don't really see a future with him. That's why I don't want to stick too long to Ebiowei. It's just unfortunate because we won the race between us and Man United. Man United were after him, like he was highly regarded. So I don't know what's really going wrong. And he seemed like he's a technical player as well, funny enough. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know about the attitude thing. Heard that as well, but I don't know if that's true or not. Of course, there's going to be rumors coming left, right, centre. But yeah, he's not going to be a priority in this window. Let's just say that. Let's move on to Oliver Glasner's pre-match press conference. And he said the following. On new signings, he said that it is clear we want 2 players. I hope we get them yesterday rather than tomorrow. We have a clear commitment that we will sign 2 players. That's a big statement. He's basically out there. To be fair, he's kind of indicated it beforehand as well, before the window started. But we want 2 players. I'd have rather we got them yesterday instead of tomorrow. He's basically saying, I want 2 players and I want them now. And we've got clear commitment. The club can't fumble this now. They can't, because the manager said it a few times. Like, we need signings. We need signings early. Do you think that is the reason why we've actually had 2 bids rejected? Do you think Glasner's actually pushing the club to do something which we're not really used to, in terms of like pushing the club to make the signings right now rather than later on?
Well, yeah, obviously when we was on that bad run and we had to struggle through all those performances with 12, 13 fit players, it was clear then that they had to act quickly as soon as the January transfer window opened. Luckily, we got through the hard run of fixtures, getting some points, because it didn't look very good up to the Fulham at home game. Now they've been given a boost, the fact that we're 15th in the table with 20 points on the board. So yeah, they have to act quickly. I think they've probably got a short list of 3 or 4 players for each position. They'll probably prefer 1 or 2 over others. But yeah, it's got to be done quickly, because like, I know there's 10, 12 days till Leicester, but then it's Leicester, then it's West Ham, then the games start coming all over again. I think there's 6 games in January. So we need to get players back. He also said Walton's recovery is looking like longer and longer. Doucouré is going to be starting tomorrow, so hopefully, do you know what I mean? It's the start of Doucouré getting back to full fitness.
Hopefully, yeah. We'll talk about Doucouré as well, because he's mentioned a few other stuff. Also, a contract update on Will Hughes. There's been a few reports recently about West Ham, Brentford, and other clubs being interested. He did give us an update in regards to his future at the football club. But the 2 signings are pretty evident, I think. We don't even have to guess. Left wing back and a number 10. He didn't really say it. He wanted it to, not go specific with the positions, because of course that's not going to help us if we say we want a wing back and another number 10, because then clubs can charge us a premium because they know what we want. But yeah, 2 signings, which wing back and a number 10, and we simply can't mess this up. We've had time. He's warned the club from beforehand. We have to make sure we deliver, because if we don't, which I don't think we won't, because I can't imagine a club being that silly, especially with a manager like this, then serious questions will have to be asked. Because why can't you sign 2 players?
I don't think there's any doubt that we'll sign 2 players. Who we get, that will be dependent on how much the club want to spend and who's available. I also think maybe the fact that we might be going for a player with right, they're not too mindful on what foot the right 10 is, because they might want the option to change system, because if you get a right-footed player that can play with both feet, maybe you play them out wide and you put Sarr out wide right, and you can change the formation from a 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 to a 4-3-3. It might give us more flexibility. I know he doesn't really like to change the formation, but it gives him the option to do it, because right now we only have one Sar's probably the only out-and-out winger, and he's still not playing out wide. So maybe if the player profile, like a Ben Doak, he could play on the left and Sar could play on the right, and you can change to a 4-3-3, or I think that might be the idea for it. But I definitely think that the club will act on the 2 signings because he's the best manager we've ever had. I think tactically and man management wise. Even today, I don't know if anyone's watched the press conference, the way he broke down Chelsea's formation and tactics so easily. He's like, they play with a 3-1-5 and the Cucurella inverts and then the wingers come in. He just broke down their whole analysis.
Some of them are blaming Maresca. Some of them are like, watch what happens tomorrow. How dare you talk about our manager not being able to change it up? So there's been a lot of talk regarding Glasner's comments towards it. By the way, people, there's about 140 of you watching it live. Thank you to each one of you. If you can drop a like, that'd be much appreciated. We're on 63. Let's see if we can hit 75 to 100 before the stream ends. Let's talk about other comments from Glasner's pre-match press conference. We had, of course, the signings he spoke about. And in terms of outgoings, so he said he expects no one to leave the football club. The players that are playing, the players that are not playing, no one's come to his door. No one has said that I want to leave the football club, which is positive. So he expects Mark Gahey to stay at the football club past here, which is no surprise. We kind of spoke about it. We're not expecting players to leave, especially with a squad that's already thin. However, he's also mentioned Trevor Chalobah. He said that a deal happens if all 3 parties are happy with it, the 2 clubs and the player. If all parties want to have a deal and agree, it will happen. He's doing really well for us, and we are very consistent. He's very consistent in our defensive line. Let's talk about Chalobah, then we'll move on to Will Hughes, who he also spoke about in terms of his contract talks. Be honest. Also, be honest in the chat as well, people. Would you, if we had the opportunity right now to sign Trevor Chalobah, would you want him on a permanent deal today?
Does it come out of the budget for the other players? I think that's the main thing.
Well, let's not overcomplicate it. Let's just say it. Would you want him?
I'd make it permanent. Yeah.
How much do you think it's worth then?
Anywhere between 17.5 to 22.5, all depending on add-ons. You could stretch to 25. Like we said, that we were talking before, 25 million, 20 million is the new 10 million, like how it used to be. So to get a quality Premier League centre back, I would personally pay for it.
A lot of yeses. I'll be honest, I'm not going to lie. I won't be upset over it, but I wouldn't be mad if right now we didn't sign him on a permanent deal. Because I think with the centre back market, it's a bit more easier to recruit rather than like a striker or another number 10. We've been linked with like the centre backs, even Lecraft, for example, who's come to the club, he's done a decent job. I'm not really worried about that. So of course the price depends on.
I think there's news. I think Ipswich just bid for Doak.
Yeah, I've seen that. Well, I mean, they bid what, same price, 16 million.
16 million.
Yeah, so that's not really a problem.
It's like the Wenger bid, the 40 million plus £1.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like it's the same thing. It's going to get rejected if the 25 to 30 million pound rumors are true. But yeah, like 20 to 25 million pound worthy. It depends. If Chelsea charge like 30 million and above, like 30 to 35, I'm not too sure. But then again, let's see. I'm curious to see what the club think of him so far. We'll see what happens in the summer. But Glasner did say that he's been very consistent in our defensive line. And I do feel like he's improved. He's had a few individual mistakes here and there in certain games. But for me, I just feel like there's an error in him. I don't know. So far, I just feel like he has some very good games. But in some games, I just feel like, I'm not as confident.
Yeah, there's also always deals to be had in the summer better because look at Bournemouth bought Huijsen from Juventus for 8 million. I'm sure they bought Kirkes for quite cheap as well. There's so many players out there. So sometimes it might look good at 20, 25 million. He's a great signing, but are there better deals to be done? There could be.
Yeah. Don't moan about defenders scoring goals. We haven't scored from a corner since April 22nd till this season. I have no problem with defenders scoring goals, but relying on defenders to score 40% of your goals is a bit worrying as well at times.
We ain't scored many though, so 40% it's not.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But it's not even a lot of goals. Yeah, you're right, but it's nearly like half of our goals are coming from defenders. That's why we need another attacker.
I think we're second in the league for set piece goals. I saw it when
which is kind of crazy, you know. And we don't have our set piece coach just on the sidelines on every single corner when we're attacking or defending. He just sits down and lets the players do his job. I guess that's what makes a good set piece coach. A set piece coach that plans it beforehand and just says, "Do your thing," and that's what they do. They just score goals.
We'll take down the Zaha mural and put
him up. Like certain clubs having set piece coaches in murals of set piece coaches is absolutely crazy. But you know, everyone knows what we're talking about. Hopefully, there's no Arsenal fans in the chat. David saying Gahey will go latest in the summer. Chalobah is more than worthy replacement. I guess that's a good context as well. If Gahey was to go,
different sides though, different sides. I think Riyadh would be.
Sides, but I guess
Riyadh's the replacement.
It depends on how much money we spend as well. What about Chad Riyadh or Chris Richards?
I think maybe that if you was to sell Gahey for 40-50 million, maybe you'd sign Chalobah, have Riyadh, then you'd probably sign another left centre back or convert Mitchell.
I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. That's you and whoever's in the chat. I'm not buying it.
It's like a new player. It's like a new player.
No. I'm sorry. I'd rather go get a new player than convert Mitchell from a left back to a centre back. I hear it. I know what you're thinking, but for me, no, not for me.
We'll cut costs.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Anyways, I expect Palace to sign someone else. Then afterwards, we're gonna have one left wing back. And we're going to go back to the same problems of not having any like quality depth on that side. And then also on Will Hughes, Glasner did say, I haven't got the exact comment, but I did watch a press conference. He did say that he's very sure, basically, that Will Hughes will be at a football club next season, which is positive because I don't know if you lot have seen it, but a few clubs apparently are after him, which is good because he's been massive for us. So far, you can be involved in player of the season conversations, right?
Yeah, definitely. I just see another said Palace are expecting to go in for another bid for Doak. So the news keeps coming in non-stop.
Well, it's good that we're live here, and we're going to try to be live at 7 p.m. people most days. So I'll try to find out what's going on there. But quickly on Will Hughes.
Yeah, he's definitely been
needed, right?
Yeah,
he's good. Yeah. He's a good option. He's been starting for us as well.
Yeah, definitely. Good depth. Works well with Wharton. Good in the dressing room. Took the armband last week. Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer to give him another year. And by the way, I'm joking about Ty for anyone in the chat thinking I'm being serious.
Are you? Are you really? Are you really? By the way, people, if you're enjoying it, hit the like button. I'm gonna try to find. Oh, where was it? By the way, the Doak one. Where did you hear it?
It's just on Twitter going about now.
Okay, cool.
Can't see who the source is.
I'll try to find the link. But if you're enjoying the stream, please hit the like button. Let's see what we're on right now. I'm gonna.
You know what's scary about?
Yeah. Huh?
You know that dreaded 25-30 million that Palace pay for because then Nketiah's getting missiles every week. Because if Ben Doak comes, drops a few stinkers.
It's a long day. Well, Ben Nketiah, I think there's pre-agendas. I think Doak will get a bit more support. Some people just don't rate Nketiah, so I think that's why it's kind of different. So yeah, he is our target. So the next bid is expected.
Maybe 20 plus add-ons. Maybe.
Let's see what happens in terms of like Liverpool. Do they buy into it? By the way, 78 likes. Thank you so much to all of you. We've gone past the 75. Let's see if we can approach 100. There's 130 watching. It's fantastic, honestly. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when there's 130 people watching, 78 likes, that is great from the community. Yeah. Really appreciate it all. And it's going to help us. It's going to help all of us if we can grow the channel and do more. That'll be fantastic. So, yeah, it's just like a friendly reminder more time, people. D, can you put Mark and Chris in the same convo? No, I can't. I'll be honest. That was a tongue-in-cheek. I've said it many times. When Mark leaves, we need another centre-back. I don't think Riyadh or Richards right now anyways. Even in terms of numbers, we need another number. We can't just have it'll be how many centre backs then? 5?
Yeah,
it'll be 5. It'll be how many? We'll have Richards. My brain is stopped. We'll have Richards, Lacroix, Riyadh. Let's say we sign Chalobah. We'll have 4.
Holden.
Holden. You might as well count me there. I might as well be an option as well at this rate. Yeah, holding. But yeah, let's see what happens. Let's go through some comments. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to put a Q&A dot before it. We'll answer it before we wrap up. Best day, is that move dead? It's quiet. I don't know if he's dead, but it seems like right now we're going after Diouf more than Best day based on the fact that we're putting a bid.
Best day only signed for Benfica this year. This is his first season, so he's on a longer contract. He's 25, 26 years old, so the deal might be harder to do. I think Benfica only signed him for £6 million or euros, so it wouldn't be that big of a fee. But when a player's contracted for a longer time and he's just arrived at Benfica, plus they're playing in the Champions League, they're playing in Europe, it'll probably be a harder deal to do than getting someone from Slavia Prague.
Yeah. My bet right now, as I said, is on Diouf. I think that'll be easier of a deal to get done. We answered this already, but from Leon saying, what's up, Leon? He's saying, what's happening with Chalobah? Hopefully a deal happens. That'll be a great signing. I don't think a deal is going to happen in this window. I think that's one for the summer. Right now, we've got 2 other priority positions, left wing back and another number 10. So I don't think we'll be spending any of those funds over there. Define ambition. What's going on? I think there's people debating about ambition. I'll let you lot go at it. There's other questions. Ash saying, any thoughts on the players out of contract in the summer? Who do we keep? Surely Hughes stays. Yeah, so Hughes is out of contract. He stays for me. And then we've got Wardy, Schlupp, Klein, Remy Matthews.
That's it.
I'll be honest.
Give Ward a coaching role.
I'll keep Matthews because he's a third choice goalie. Yeah. I mean, what do you really expect? Unless we'll see what happens with Whitworth and Goodman. But Matthews I'll keep. And Hughes I'll keep. Other players, if we're serious as a football club, we ideally move on from Wardy, Schlupp, and Klein. Because honestly, all 3 of them, maybe Klein is a bit harsh because he has actually come in and looked all right at times, like as an option. So I won't be surprised about it. But realistically, we should be moving on from Klein as well. We should be moving on.
Yeah. He's like I said, he played in 2009. It's done.
Because we basically, in my head, those players are there for the sake of being there. And I hate that. We've done a good job. We've done a very good job because we've had so many players that are in the squad which we don't really see contributing, and over the years we've kind of got rid of them. However, Ward, Klein, who else was there? Schlupp. Those 3 especially, they shouldn't realistically be here next season going forward. We either sign players or promote players from the academy. They shouldn't, especially Schlupp. I'll be shocked if Schlupp is there. They can, I think, talk to clubs abroad, right? But I don't know about clubs in the UK. But I don't know who abroad is going to want Joe Ward, Nathaniel Klein, or Jeffrey Schlupp. But there might be some interest. Let's see. But yeah, let us know what you lot think as well in terms of players out of contract and who you will keep. Palace fans saying, what about the guy who's in loan from the Championship, not on loan? He plays for City. Saw on Sky Sports. What about the guy who's on loan from the Championship, not on loan? He plays for City. Do you know who he's talking about?
I don't really understand the question too much.
Yeah. Is he on loan? Is he not on loan? But yeah, I'm not too sure. You're talking about Ward for a job behind the scenes. With this, I always feel a bit funny. What job is there behind the scenes?
James McAtee. He's talking about James McAtee.
James McAtee. Yeah, he's not. It seems like City don't want to get rid of him. So So I don't think he'll be leaving. But yeah. Anything else in terms of questions before we wrap up, people? Ted Lasso, bang of a program. I don't know what's going on. Who's signing holding?
Frank are back in training.
What was that?
Frank are back in training.
Yeah, he's back in training. Also Wharton, we'll speak about him as well. Let me not forget. So France is back in training. However, I don't really see him playing for Palace this month. I'd be shocked. He's come back from a long-term injury. We're going to take our time with him. As Bruno said yesterday from the Palace Way, he is an asset that's cost a decent money for Palace. So we want to make sure we do everything possible to make him be successful. So yeah, I don't think he'll feature as much this month, maybe February onwards. That's my opinion, nothing based on news. And Wharton, it seems like it's going to be longer and longer. It's not looking good, is it? The surgery happened in not October.
After the Spurs game.
It was after the Spurs game. When was that? October or November?
November.
Late October, early November. It must be. Yeah. So, how do you feel about that?
You know me, I'm Walton's biggest fan. I can't. Do you know what? I know the press conference, at 10:30, you get the full quotes. I think
yeah.
I think I'll probably go into more detail about Walton come 10:30. I see Chris S's comment. You're right. Did you see it? God squad need.
Yeah,
head pastor.
He's the master of those. Maybe that's why we keep him behind the scenes. Yeah. But when people say behind the scenes, I always ask where behind the scenes, because the thing that annoyed me a lot about Roy was I remember people saying, "Oh, like we need to get rid of him, but move him upstairs." To do what? Upstairs where? Direct the football, like where's it going to be upstairs? Like the club are not going to be spending money for the sake of spending money as well.
That's with the Walton thing. Decore hopefully tomorrow is the start of someone who can fill the gap for him.
Yeah, we did record a preview and it was released yesterday, right before the live Palace news. So if you haven't already done so, people, make sure to check that out. We spoke about a few plays there. So you got loads of Palace content. But yeah, with Decore, I am looking at tomorrow's game and thinking, come on, please, like prove yourself kind of thing. Like I do think we are a better side. As good as Hughes and Lerma has been for us, if Decore reaches to the levels he was at before, which a lot of people might have forgotten about because it was ages ago, he's a very good player. He's better than what we have right now. Like he can offer more on the ball. So yeah, he actually had a good game, and Glasner did confirm that he's starting because Hughes is actually out injured. So yeah, I expect Hughes to have this game off and hopefully Stockport as well. A little bit of a break because he deserves it. But with Decore, how big of a game is tomorrow's one for him? If he has a good game tomorrow and then hopefully starts against Stockport and becomes a serious option off the bench, that'll be good, because after the Ipswich game, he got subbed off at half time and he's come off the bench a few times, but he's been limited to minutes, which is sad to see because I do think there's a player there.
I think maybe his minutes have been held out for this situation. So when there was an injury, he could step in fresh. It's probably one of the hardest games to come in against probably one of the best number 10s in the league in Cole Palmer. So
yeah, but he done well last time around.
That's what I mean. If he passes this test against Chelsea and plays well, then listen,
and plays well against Stockport as well, then maybe we start asking more questions about whether he can come into the side and do the job. That's the biggest thing about it. So yeah, I mean let's see anyways. But yeah, look, people, that's it from me. And Lou, of course, will be back. I don't know. I doubt tomorrow there'll be any news because it's match day. If you haven't already done so, check out yesterday's Palace news. If you're just joining us now, go to the start as well, where we speak about 2 rejected bids. We got a match preview out. So there's loads of content. If you have enjoyed this, please like button, subscribe if you're new here. And until next time, up the Palace.